There it
We're
is.
back.
There we go.
It has been 3 weeks.
It's been 3
I'm
weeks.
sorry.
I have been falling for 3 weeks.
I have been falling for 3 weeks.
Everybody's just been
okay.
in limbo, kind of checking wristwatches, at least in character.
Yeah.
Alright, so last time, because it's been a while,
Yurt.
It's been a while.
last time I'm going to skim over a lot because most of my notes are technical details. This person's this person's that. We don't need that right now.
Also, I'm sorry if I like curse quietly if it gets picked up in the recording. I'm trying to sew something onto a hat and it's not working, so I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, we got to Peace Talks Day. All the Archdruids were on. Zodiacs that were attending came on. We got some additional max HP, my bad, for the day because Xenia's cooking check was insane.
Yes.
Just in case combat comes or came. Not yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yes.
We cock-blocked
also-
combat. Like, hard.
Also, the leader of the rebellion is also there as requested. We kind of go over what everybody's looking for out of these peace talks. Out of the group, the Archdruids were the only ones who wanted purely reparations and explanations for everything that happened, and basically didn't come in with, and going forward in peace, we can offer this aspect or this resource or whatever.
To be fair, the archers need to get off their fucking high horse. Sorry.
To be
don't like
fair,
the
also, the
Archdruids.
Zodiacs were a bit more the aggressors, but also it was kind of the spirit of things needed a little bit of an attitude adjustment. So
System is generally flawed. We've had this vibe since session 5.
thereabouts. Basically, we also cement Averos as independent, not really part of any of these particular governments, but a bridge and a place of exchange and learning, neutral ground, etc. Not diplomatic immunity, but diplomatic neutrality, as far as that goes. The general Archdruid offered soldiers to assist with Ophiuchus and the rogue Zodiacs that are in rebellion. Sky, your microphone is picking up some static. I'm not sure what's going on. Are
I don't know
you
what that
still
is.
there?
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
here.
Okay. Alright, it's better now, for some reason. Okay.
Yeah, it was the heater in the background. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Got it. Anyhow, also as part of this, the Genasi tribes would like to be able to go back to nomadic ways freely across the country. The Archdruids are kind of iffy on that, but we immediately start, like, talking up how good this would be for trade, for relations, for communication, for just all sorts of things, and, it basically shows so much support for it in just talking between Averos and the Zodiacs and even the Rebellion that eventually the Archdruids are the only ones left at the table who were wavering, and that kind of pushed them.
Uh-huh.
Weaponizing, not peer pressure, conformity, I suppose? That thing where if you're the only person that dissents at the table, you start to feel like you shouldn't.
Yep, you got it.
Alright, let's see. And at that point, Ashta senses a ripple of planar influence. Magic growing as a ritual on some other plane, probably the astral, and there's a shift occurring. Capricorn also seemed to notice this. We kind of take a break in the peace talks to allow some mingling and some discussion in groups of various ideas and stuff. And also as a mask to let Xenia and Ashta and others, and eventually Esther as well, go and talk to Capricorn about this. We figure out that the astral may be going faster. It's not tethered to time. They could be, like, speed running a ritual, I suppose. And we pretty much have to go to the entire peace talk, like, assembly and go, alright, something's going on. We're gonna have to deal with this. We're borrowing you and you and you, and we're gonna go over here and handle this. Don't be alarmed. So we go over to the Monarch. Esther gets some spellbook magic to channel through from Capricorn. Real helped. We find out that it's a big old wish spell being charged up over there. It's very not good, and so a lot of people just gather together, focus magic. Orzer was part of it, Tess, the leader of the rebellion, was part of it. Something in the ritual connected to the being that made Jay, so Jay was not feeling good when Ashta checked up on him. Basically, in short, Ophiuchus was trying to collapse all the planes into the astral. Why? I do not know. We do not know. I thought they didn't like the astral. That's why they wanted this plane. I don't know.
Perchance it is history that you will discover.
We do a skill challenge and we successfully stop it. We zap the spell, it dissipates, the energy goes back to the source plus some, so that godly being, shell of a godly being, whatever it may now be, has that and still exists. And I think we just kind of left off just having barely managed to do that and probably just still standing in a circle like a bunch of idiots and very, very successful, clever idiots. But still.
And as a note, just one thing to add in addition there, there was a further buff given by Xenia to the godly intervention, that the ritual not only was stopped, but that any side effects that may have come about naturally of it was also stopped. So just make sure that's okay, because it was basically a perfect end to the ritual.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
All right. But from there, we pick up in that kind of moment after you guys, mostly Ashton in terms of acuteness, but you feel the kind of energy of the moment, the adrenaline slowly begin to dissipate as success is most felt by you, Ashley. You can feel whatever rift was beginning, whatever incision was being made in the planar fabric is being stitched up. And from as far as you can tell, whatever was happening is currently stopped. Orzer kind of looks at the rest of you, and he's pretty sweaty. Seems mostly from nerves rather than exertion. And he kind of looks around and, well, should we call lunch?
I think it's paused for now.
Seriously, can't we have like one day? And I don't know.
Someday.
That was a lot of magic. Can I sit down, please?
Of course, go ahead, take a seat.
You're already
Anybody who
sitting.
needs...
Mother kind of...
I'll go ahead and see about getting the midday meal out. It's about that time. I think we've been into liberation for some time.
As you kind of turn to leave, Rosalind, the monarch kind of leans her head down and presses her cheek against yours for a second, and just thank all of you, and does the same thing to each of the people around the circle. Even to Capricorn, you notice. That was very well done.
I don't think it's over yet, but thank goodness that part is.
Astra fans over to Jay. How you doing, buddy?
You go. That's the wrong music.
This is combat music. What's going on?
Yep. I was thinking of a playlist. There was a playlist of the same, not that one either. Playlist of the same name in the second campaign. I'm trying to remember what I have in each one.
Ophiuchus kicks down the door.
That's the one. There we go. Sorry, I have the same names but different playlists in both campaigns. It fucks me up. As you kind of connect with Jay Ashta, you get the moment reaction of the Thane having to fly there and fly back, and as they do, it's mostly an expression of fatigue, but not of distress. Oh, hold on. It seems like Corver broke something.
Oh no. Corvo, what have you done now, silly boy?
Broken something, maybe.
Yeah, Esther's just lying on her back. She's fucking zonked right now. That was 50 plus levels of magic coursing through her veins at one point in time. She is fucking tired for a minute.
I think Rosalind's just politics. Getting everybody's ruffled feathers smoothed, assuming that they are ruffled.
Oh, I'm sure they're probably like freaking out.
Maybe a little concerned, I don't know.
Alright, nothing big is broken.
Oh my god. Your fucking fault. Yeah, you.
Sorry.
Bitching at the cats.
Okay, we're good. Capricorn, as you guys kind of begin to disseminate back to the what you were doing, will kind of put a hand on your wrist, Ashta, and just it is done but not finished. There will be retaliation, I fear.
Do you know how?
If I had to guess, quick and violent. The peaceful one is not prone to revenge, but the angry one is quick to it.
What should we expect?
An assault.
From what? What forces?
13 themselves. Though maybe not their particular presence, but their forces directly.
What kind of forces does he have?
If I had to guess, I have no personal experience. But if I had to guess, there are legends of dragon riders, of warriors of Silverblade and Fortuitous Mind. Those are the forces of the astral as opposed to the forces of limbo. And that is the forces of that who angers.
Well, we at least have some experience. Astra gives basically a rough ping to the Firebird network.
Okay.
Just be on the lookout. There's a possibility of people riding dragons.
All right.
They're probably psychic.
All right. You get a response back of, do you want them to basically do a investigative pattern around the castle or possibly around the island? They can only do one or the other. The castle would have to be watched by a few Firebirds.
Castle.
Castle? Alright. So you guys immediately notice all around it, around the entirety of the castle, hundreds of beautifully rainbow-colored Firebirds, shades and tones and levels of energy flutter into the air and make this almost network of flying creatures above the castle and around, extending outwards maybe half a kilometer in any direction, as well as probably 3 or 4 kilometers upwards as they all try to investigate and get a good eye on things.
Astra looks to Capricorn. And how should I expect you and others of the Zodiacs to react to this?
With fear. Possibly with fleeing.
Any of you intending to help them or us?
I am not as insightful as others. I can only speak for myself. But I, for one, have no skill in fighting this day. My realm is one of comfort when I am in the dark. This land of light is not what I am built for.
If you wish to stay here, we have underground areas.
I would not be against Zodiacs perhaps covering those as a defense. Let you folks handle the realm of the light, as it is filled with your birds.
We'll be keeping an eye on you. We're not exactly letting you go free.
Of course, of course. We have no wish to engage with 13 directly or indirectly. Our primary dilemma is the traitor.
Can Astra just give an insight on like everything she was talking about here?
Yeah, go for it.
Just that in the whole conversation, basically.
Is there like a specific traitor? What do you mean traitor?
Ares.
Okay, Ares. Okay.
26.
It's like, fuck me, is there another one?
26. The only time you got the kind of instinct that she was holding something back was when she was talking about her own powers. Otherwise, as pretty much par for the course so far. She's been relatively candid to your ability to tell, and she's not a particularly charismatic or deceptive type.
Yep. And he just looks. Are you unable or unwilling to defend yourself today?
I am ineffective compared to what I would normally be. I have prepared spells of fleeing, of defense, of low level, as was the request of Leo, so I am not tempted to use them.
Can you use those to help others?
In a
Not
short
attack, but flee.
I rely on items rather than spells to protect. My spells are that of information, of investigation, of insight in some cases, enhancement. In the worst case scenario, I can shut down my magic and make myself physically capable, but that would leave me vulnerable to other forms of assault. And
Well, then
you would
just
know she's talking about, she's talking about Tensor's transformation there.
yep. Well, then just be aware. It's within your right and the right of everyone with you, Zodiacs, to be concerned for your own personal safety. So keep that in mind. You people are reasonable, and you're agreeing to this talk. We need you.
With yours and Pisces' permission, I would ask that I may meditate and feel the strings of the weave such that I can sense a disturbance.
I shall look up to the monarch. Could you keep
And
an eye on her with that?
the monarch will nod and as best I can.
Then you'll be in each other's care.
They both kind of nod, and you see Capricorn begin to kind of shamble her way over to Pisces, who is being held close by her two bodyguards.
Mhm.
And you see a conversation go on there, and she'll come back after about a minute or two, and I will meditate. If you see me grow arms, it is simply a side effect of the spell I'm doing. I call it my spider form. And she kind of shambles over to that same podium, very similar to the area that Esther usually sits when she meditates. And as you watch, whether while you're doing stuff or between, or if you focus on her directly, is up to you. But these almost ghostly arms appear out of her sides as she meditates, each in a different position, and you can almost see these strings of magic between her fingers and a look of concentration on her face.
Okay.
Something else, isn't
Actually,
she?
no, sorry, I just thought of something, but Ashley might have thought of it sooner.
Yeah. What is it?
Before she sets down for it properly, he'll just ask, "Do you have your symbol on you of Zodiacs?"
No, we have decided not to bring it due to an inclination from Leo that it could be used to spy upon us.
All right. Throw a quick insight on that, just for fun.
Go for it. She'll continue as you kind of take a look at her. Though, as from what I'm able to tell, you have defenses against that of your own here.
We do our best, but I don't know exactly everything that thing's capable of.
True. And why is it you acknowledge this? Yeah, she's being honest, and it was briefly mentioned earlier in the talks too.
Yep. Just wanted a direct press on it.
Yep. All right. Anyone else doing anything the next 5 to 20 minutes, basically?
Starts catching her breath.
Okay. Yeah, you can begin a short rest if you need to.
For the record, also Aston just lets everyone know about what he heard about and stuff.
Of course.
Speaking of that, actually, Esther's gonna kind of send out a feign. Just last night, I spoke with the Lord of the Mind about 13. One of the greatest ways to instigate them was to attack their desire to become gods. 13 wishes to gain a level of power that should not come to mortals. I think we might have just disrupted that. And if what I have been told is true, they are going to be very angry. Just keep that in mind.
All right. So as Esther begins to meditate upon this, anyone else do anything of major note? All right, making sure everyone is calm and unruffled. Yeah, go ahead and make for a persuasion check, let's call it.
Okay.
On that too, Esther's just gonna ask everyone, like, do we want to let everyone here know something's coming? Probably.
They need to be prepared. As long as they're on their guard.
As part of the making calm in that case, Rosalind will just make sure everybody knows whatever they have set up as if an emergency happens, go here.
Do you guys inform them of the discussion you had with Orzer, that if Ares comes, that the Zodiacs will be directed towards that, so that you guys can focus on protecting the monarch?
Yeah.
I suppose so.
I think it's going to be mostly if anything does happen as a result of this. We don't know for sure. But if you are concerned for your own safety, go here. If you wish to aid, this is the general idea and shape of that, with the Zodiacs focusing on Aries. And
Okay.
generally just look out for each other and
Sentiment to
Don't
the
use-
Zodiacs of clean up your own fucking mess.
don't use anything that would be too destructive, please and thank you.
Yep. And also, there was a brief but kind of unclear thing that you guys spoke to Orzer about as well, with the Archdruids and Ares. That basically he's leaving the monarch to you. What the Archdruids do is up to them, but he believed that they were most likely to follow him.
Mm-hmm.
They will.
Yeah, I can just point at Orzer and just look to him if anything does happen. And yeah, I want to keep it very simple.
Yep, just want to know kind of what the vibe you're putting out there is.
Keep it as simple as possible for the children.
Okay.
Yep. Simple, avoid confusion, and avoid drumming up worry and no doomsaying. This is just, alright, so something did happen, we stopped it. If anything else happens, then just for future record.
It's equivalent of like a bear walking by your tent, where it's like, okay, we're not dead, just don't do anything stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. At one point, actually, Rosalind, you notice that Pisces is trying to kind of wave you over, to kind of sit down and talk with her for a second.
Alright, I'll follow. I'll bite.
As you kind of approach, she kind of stands up and flattens out her dress a bit. And just, Lady Rosalind, may I ask you for a conversation, briefly? Nothing secretive, just I like to be updated.
Of course. It's a beautiful dress, by the way.
Thank you. I could speak wonders about the beauty of what you have done in this place. Oh, the garden you're doing.
In part, I am not alone in it, but I do like to get my hands into the soil and try to bring some of my own effort in.
Have you ever tried to grow coral? It's as close as we get to gardening underwater.
Actually, we did pick up some samplings recently, and I was hoping to do an underground, bit of a garden.
Oh.
Glowing things, a pond, some corals. They are very luminous.
Maybe someday we can investigate each other's garden work. I have much advice I can give on the growth of coral and keeping it healthy.
I would appreciate that very much. I've never attempted it before.
It's pleasant. Slower than growing your own plants, if you'd believe it.
I can. It's alive, but far more like stone, isn't it? In some ways.
Yes, I find your trees unsettling, if you don't mind me saying. They are so languid. And hard.
Have you ever seen them sway in the wind?
I have, and I find it distinctly unsettling that I can feel no drift of myself, but the beings that are so much larger than myself will sway.
The wind is often high.
So are we. At least compared to what I'm used to.
Um,
But that's not what you called me over for, I'm sure. Is there
No.
something on your mind?
Yes. Capricorn was imprecise and distracted as she usually is. What did you just divert? I can assume from whom, but what was it?
Some form of powerful ritual. It must have been quite strong. The effort it took to overcome it would indicate that much.
Were we able to ascertain nature or purpose?
It originated from the astral plane,
Hmm.
and there was something to do with destroying some of the structure and sanctity of the planes. I am somewhat suspicious of this, as I was told that part of the reason the war began, at least from the Zodiac's perspective, was because the planes were drawing together on their own when they should not have been, and that the blame was placed on the use of magic.
That was a deception of mine and Ares' invention, actually.
Hmm.
The planes are resistant to too many magic users drawing them together. It would take a concerted ritual to do so. It is near impossible to do accidentally, but for the younger Zodiacs, it acted as a good motivator to come to our side.
Rosalind gives her a little bit more of a serious look.
She nods, and I'm aware of the foolishness of what I've done previous, don't worry.
Were you always aware of the true meaning and the purpose of the war?
Yes.
Were you aware that you were likely to be betrayed yourself?
Yes. But I was also aware that my realm is the safest from the wrath of Ares, and that without my forces he could do nothing. My realm is the realm of the generals, the ones in charge. Anything less than a Zodiac has my force and my stamp on it. And I was offered wonderful gifts. And an opportunity that Ares may be vulnerable someday, and I could betray him if I was clever enough, or quick enough. I hope you take my honesty as a sign of what I want to come from this conversation.
Your honesty about dishonesty.
Yes, isn't that the most valuable honesty?
Hmm.
Of your mistakes and your betrayals of the past, so that you may judge truthfully?
It can be, but it can also be a form of manipulation in its own right.
Well, that's all conversation when you look at it cynically enough, as certain members are more prone to do.
Or perhaps I'm a bit of an idealist.
Yes. You've always struck me as such with your group, and I admire it as much as I fear for your safety. I take it that you're unwilling or unable to tell me more of the ritual.
We were aware that it was an attempt to collapse the planes into one. Or at least that was the sense that was gotten.
I'm going to have her roll something real fast, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Through bonuses, that is 22. Okay. Collapse? How? If you know, I'm not sure of what part you or your folks played with this, or what form of telepathy you all take, as it doesn't seem to be mystical in the sense that I'm used to. Would a destruction of borders be more accurate? A melding?
Perhaps. It was something to do with bringing it all into the astral. Perhaps bringing the astral into it.
You have met Mike, right? Mike the Fallen. He's from your plane.
Oh, we have had the distinct pleasure.
Did he tell you of his binding of the Archdruids, of the powerful people of your realm?
Ariel can't remember. Rosalind would.
He did mention that part of his oath, the payment to 13,
Okay, so
was that it would stop the level 20s from entering the elemental or astral planes.
gotcha. Okay, I didn't remember if it was explicitly said if he was part of that.
Yep.
Okay, then, yeah, affirmative. She'll. Yep.
Did he ever tell you what the other half of the agreement was?
Did he?
I'm gonna say I don't think he did. Just straight up.
Okay.
Um,
I was aware of that as the sole, or at least the primary trade-off for his deal.
Interesting. Know that I speak mostly in rumor and spycraft, but my best sources, which are few on the astral plane, inform me that it was a mutual binding. And as us Zodiacs weren't binded, I can only guess who was bound from the astral plane from crossing over. I'm hesitant to say that it's unrelated, but the idea of collapsing borders might be seen as a form of loophole if I had to guess, but know that I speak from speculation, please. Perhaps a way to, if not enter your plane, a way to hasten the war against mine, such that the more powerful ones of your folks could enter our plane freely and destructively if peace is not reached. There are many more of your Archdruids than there are of us Zodiacs.
There are.
I hope I've given you some sort of insight. But, again, I cannot say I'm correct, so please don't stake lives on what I've said.
Can Rosalind, using connection to Ashton, his greater ability to insight, in conjunction with her own proficiency, basically insight check this whole conversation?
Sure. You can basically take his help automatically.
Okay. Get his input in on this. 23.
23. The first thing you notice is that she has been trying to insight him too.
Yeah.
Part of this was political maneuvering. You don't get a distinct sense of dishonesty. Maybe a bit of evasiveness. You do distinctly get that, and that she's not letting on everything. The biggest red flag you notice is she is acting on not confident intentionally.
Only rumor and spycraft, and you are completely uncertain of the veracity of this information?
Yes. Though, maybe that's more of my cynical nature.
Sus.
All spycraft is rumors that you have to stake lives on.
I expected more confidence from someone in your position and your ability.
And I expected more brutality from someone from yours.
The brutality comes from other aspects. I prefer not to bring it out if it's not necessary.
Then I hope you'll understand my farcical non-confidence, as I'm sure you've guessed by now, as a form of losing the word, sorry.
Insurance?
No, kneeling to you.
Protection?
What's the Greek thing with kneeling?
Behold a man?
No.
It's the only Greek shit I know.
Sublimation. Supplement? Something like that.
Sopification.
Supplication?
Supplication, thank you. A form of supplication in your jurisdiction. I am confident of my sources, but I am certain that you won't be of mine, so I will not try to sway you.
Oh, but you already have.
And I
Please.
am
You've already confessed to falsehoods enough. Let's not pile any more on.
then I will let you decipher past the non-confidence, as I spoke no lies. But I will say with confidence that you should fear the coming couple hours. By the time this hour is up, it will have been a few days on the astral plane, time enough to recover and mount a counterattack. If he was successful, or they were successful, that is something to fear.
They weren't.
Well, that much has already been mentioned from other sources.
Well, then, shall we settle for disquieted tea?
The midday meal has been set out. We've tried to bring in a wide variety of dishes. I'm sure there will be something to your satisfaction.
She gives you a look that you can easily kind of notice is vaguely mischievous. And I have to ask, did you bring any fish?
There may be a few platters at one end. Some vegetarian dishes. A few meats.
I'm curious. What is your thoughts of if we would see fish as disrespectful or as tasteful?
Well then, you would be in fine company with some of the archdruids who regard the chicken at the far end that you can see there in much the same way. It could be a bonding point.
What is a chicken?
CPR Kakra.
It's a... Zephyr just walks by.
Close enough.
A small bird, mostly flightless, so they can get a little bit of distance if they try hard enough.
If you chuck them hard enough, they'll get enough distance.
She kind of looks up at the firebirds, and would I be correct in assuming that it is the guppies of those?
Not quite. They are not as related as you may think. It's,
Interesting.
I suppose
May I
it'd be a little bit like saying that a minnow is a relative of a whale.
Interesting. I like that analogy, actually.
The scaling
One
may
last.
be off, but if you'd like to sample it, there are some smaller pieces, bite-sized
think I may.
appetizers.
And one last question, if I may be, as I'm now mildly curious. Do you have any pine cones here?
I don't believe that we made any effort to include it in the food, but I believe there are pines in our forest.
If you have one on hand, I'm curious to see what these clam-like seeds are.
Technically, some varieties of pine are edible, though not very... they're not quite a delicacy, let's just say. That being said, if there is time in the future and goodwill and good nature among us, I would indulge your curiosity in that matter.
That is more convincing than you may think.
Rosalind will then let her go off to the table and go off elsewhere and, just update everybody on the conversation.
Yep. Pine nuts are actually pretty good.
True, very true. Although I never had a nut
Question.
like. Yes.
Question. Has Ashton, knowing pine nuts are pretty good, ever taken an entire pine cone and...
Of course he has. A fucking course he has.
When he was like 10, maybe.
Well, that's a story to get out of.
Please,
Perhaps.
please tell me that Rosalind hears about this from him.
Well, I know what story the uncle's telling at the wedding. Alright. So,
There's just a thing where I was like, no, he straight up told me they came from pine cones, and he didn't say a thing when I raised it to my mouth. I blame him as much as I blame myself.
excellent. All right. So, if no other major notes from anyone,
Ash is on edge, but I mean,
yeah. Do you want to make any checks? Are you trying to investigate anything, or just generally on edge?
he's keeping his senses out for if there's any teleportation magic happening wider than where the where things are currently.
Okay.
Because we've got we put the kibosh on teleportation with our with the
Yep.
rituals.
Yep.
He might actually like try to do that with the with the island itself kind of thing, like he did before, kind of paying for portals.
Interesting. Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check with advantage.
Boop, boop, boop. Could he actually garner a guidance off of Xenia here?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Eh, 26.
Do you want this to be an instantaneous check or a kind of perpetual one?
He's kind of keeping it going because he doesn't imagine it's going to be like he can't exactly predict exactly when it's going to be. He's looking for like people like vamping in kind of thing.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to leave it as basically know that you have basically a passive 26, and if something would spark that, I will let you know when it happens. Sound good?
Sure.
All right. Esther, what's up?
Just wanted to talk to Ashton really fast.
Yeah, go for it.
She's just gonna kind of drift over and just. So, that was something.
Sorry to who?
To you, Ashton.
Ah, all right. Thought so. Want to make sure. I mean, sure.
Are you alright?
In my element, let's say.
Well, you're walking around currently with more edge than barbed wire, so I thought it would be nice to check in.
This is what I've trained for since I was young. Stick with the caravan. Keep an eye out for anything coming towards you. You basically expect someone to come for something valuable. I've just been just working on a multi-dimensional scale now, so
At least you're used to it. Oh, God. I hope at least an hour can go by. Before.
hope an hour, assume half an hour.
Yes,
Be
but
prepared for 15.
I don't think I can regain the power that I just spent in less than an hour. That was more magic than I have ever felt in my entire life.
Well, if you can keep the basics going.
Oh, that's the issue. That was a lot of the basics. There is something I need to speak to you about. I was going to wait until after the peace talks for it to be dealt with, but clearly the other side knows no sense of timing.
Literally, they're working on a different time scale, but go ahead.
When I spoke to the Lord of the Mind, he had said that there were two.
To what?
13s. They are two aspects. One is of a kinder, more peaceful nature, I suppose. The other is
Might be better.
calculated, thank you. The other is more calculated. One is quick to anger.
I mentioned something like that.
He believes that they both must be stopped. They're of the Gith race. When the Gith, I believe they're separated in, what were they, Gith and Githraki?
Githyanki and Githzerai.
Githyanki and Githzerai. Basically, the Gith were separated into two. One is of each. I don't remember which one was the angry one, though.
Yankee is angry.
Githyanki, the one who represents, I suppose, the Githyanki is more angry. When they were created, so was the Lord of the Mind. Am I getting that right, Conrad?
You're not. In short version, yes, it's more when they were revived. When they were
Okay.
brought to strength, he became a deity as opposed to a concept.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, basically explain it like that. But one thing, I'd asked what we could do, potentially to rile up the one perhaps more angry, to instigate into a fight. Their ascension to godhood is one of the quickest ways to anger them.
They're gonna hate me then.
I think we might have just done that.
Yeah, I put that together.
We need to know more about this deal with Mike the Fallen. That's going to be a key to figuring out what the hell is even going on.
Ashton, with that ping.
We're moving.
Where are we going? What's going on?
Now.
You
Happening now.
immediately see
Keep in
Issa
sync, everyone.
shift and go, Ashta, castle, forest on fire.
Fuck, what? Esther's gonna run outside.
Yep. Orzer immediately like runs up to both of you and like hand on Esther's like shoulder. It's like, this is what we're waiting for. Fire is Ares. We can go save the forest with the Archdruids. Do you want us out there, or do you want to let it be?
No,
We can't let it burn.
save it. There is
Okay,
so much there.
Good. That's all I needed.
Done. You've got an arsenal of people controlling nature. I'm sure you can figure it out.
Yep. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave one just outside the castle, starting up some weather spells. I'm gonna get the rest moving as quickly as we can. And you immediately he leans down to his hand, and a piercing whistle goes out. All the Archdruids turn to him, and he makes a motion with his hands and just goes, animal forms, and immediately all of them shift into various birds and creatures of speed. One of them into a leopard, a cheetah, giant eagles, some massive mammoths with like these long spindly legs that you haven't seen before. And Orzer jumps onto the shoulders of one of the eagles and points towards the forest as he starts bolting in that direction on the back of it.
Real
Before he
quick,
runs off, just
before he, yeah.
okay. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. He has Fane too, so you can communicate with him as he goes.
If you see
Use the
Simone,
lake.
keep her safe.
Gotcha.
My dad will be at that lake. Use the lake.
Lake's kind of far, but we'll do what we can.
A beat
Oh, I thought
after.
it was close by. That's my bad.
It's kind of it's kind of the halfway point.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did think it was closer as well.
I thought it was
Yep,
on the edge of it. That's why I was like.
It's closer to the castle, not the forest. But it extends
Ah.
to about halfway towards the forest.
Hey, Conrad, during this time of relative, how much time has gone by?
About 30 minutes.
Shit. All right.
Right.
You get one beat,
and-
and then Rosalind looks over at the others in the group and goes, "Aren't those twins still out there?"
Oh no,
I'm sure they can handle themselves.
they're relatively strong. I'm sure they'll be fine.
I just had a brilliant
If any-
idea for one shot, but that's besides the point.
If anything, I'm sure they've evacuated half the animals at this point.
Quite possibly.
All right.
You see a bunch of the Firebirds swarm down towards you guys, and you all basically had a barrage of Fanes, letting you know that the Firebirds are very good at stopping forest fires. They can start heading there now, but it would kind of split them between the castle and the forest.
Half and half.
Send a third.
Yeah.
Send a third.
Send a third, then.
Don't send all of them.
Yes.
Right. You see a lot of the smaller Firebirds, a lot of the younger ones, head towards the forest.
Younger ones are like, yeah, we gonna go eat.
Yeah, kind of.
We'll see.
East.
Of this, you see all the Zodiacs, and actually you do notice that Ronir also went with Orzer, as well as I forget his first name, but the rebellion leader. Thank you. He's heading to basically act as a checkpoint between the two because he can't travel as fast, but he does have a lot of long distance spells he's going to be using to help out.
Let's gather around the monarch, perhaps.
I assumed we were already moving there.
We're
Okay,
ready.
good.
As you guys do so, Capricorn is kind of sitting on her web, and as she opens her eyes, she looks around it. I see you noticed the first one already.
What do you mean the first one?
Oh, that's not going to be the only thing, Esther.
Just give us a list, old lady.
One more. And
Jesus.
she just looks up. And Ashton, you feel that second ping. And it is not the same as the last one. The last one was a portal. You're familiar with these.
Wings are out.
This was a tearing. A punching your way through a stone wall. You watch as the Firebirds, most basically at the highest altitude, all start sending you Fanes at the same time. Different images and angles of the same visage of a pair of hands tearing a hole through the sky. Golden chains wrapped around their hands as they claw their way out. Sallow yellow skin with some scales. trying to come through, and a horrible screaming as it tries as this.
Those are Mike's
Eventually,
chains.
you see as it continues, and the Firebirds, some of them try to circle around the portal, as they do have some ability to close portals if they're open. And as they do so, arrows start flying out, and they start to scatter away from the portal.
Rosalind, do you think you could close that?
I was about to ask what's the range on that wand.
I believe it's 120 feet, but this is like a half kilometer up.
Okay, I didn't remember there was a range, so...
It's treated as a spell magic.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
As you're doing so, and you're getting these images, and this is all happening very quickly, I would like to note.
Mhm.
You listen as now you're getting audio messages from the Fane as they're basically chaining each other so that you don't miss any moment of it at any given time, all of you. And you just hear this sing-songy voice. I'm gonna try to do it. I apologize in advance. Like I said, I have a sore throat today.
Okay.
You let me in. I'm here. I've been waiting. You stopped my ritual. You stopped it. And the chains begin to strain and groan from the force as you see a head poke through. And it is relatively indistinct. It looks like the very few Gith you've seen. Definitely Githyanki. It's got the kind of higher features and the stronger bone structure. And this pendant kind of sitting on the center of their forehead. You disallowed me from where I am meant to be.
Oh, it's
we have
off.
We have not been able to age for years, centuries. And the tearing opens further, and you see their head and shoulders start to pull out of this portal as the first of the chains snaps. There's 9 of them wrapped around them still. And as the first one snaps, it explodes in golden energy right in front of the eyes. And this scream of pain comes out as it does so.
They want to age?
And as they keep going and going, you see a second chain snap. But as soon as that happens, you see the chains still remaining begin to multiply. Kind of like tiny branches on a tree. They kind of wrap around in smaller chains, almost cocooning the creature coming through. And it screams again, "No!"
I shall take a shot.
You're like half a kilometer away, but yeah, go ahead and make a shot if you want.
Into the
In
pendant.
feet.
Second?
Yeah.
What is that in feet?
Yeah. What's that?
Half a kilometer in feet, it's over 1,000. This is basically way above the castle because you guys have protections all around.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, kilometer in feet. A kilometer is 3,000 feet, roughly. About 3,200. So it's over 1,600.
All right, never mind.
1,640, as Titus did.
Yeah.
But you see as the chains start pulling it back into whatever it's trying to come out of. And for a moment, it seems stopped. Until you hear a sigh from the closest Firebird. It's a single message translated as it's the only one brave enough to come closer. And you just hear, Ulysses. Attack. And from the inside of this portal, you see a dragon's head poke through, no chains wrapped around it.
Oh, fuck.
And claws from attached to the wings pull at the edges of the portal, and there are still no chains trying to stop it. As it tears the hole open further and further, the Firebirds try to come closer, and you see as this purple and red dragon, which I will show you, let's show to players, begins to spit poison at them.
I got
And-
no strings to hold me down. Carry on.
I mean, yeah, basically. Let me know if this shows.
Oh boy. Yep.
That's not
All
good.
right. And you see, as it opens further and further, and the Firebirds start to careen away, blowing white fire on each other, trying to heal the poison that they've been infected with a few of their feathers turning black.
Fervus, we
see
need potion
as-
immunity now. Boom, poison, fuck.
Yep. As you watch, on its back, there are a number of creatures looking similar to the chained and bound creature, but not as strong, not as tall. not as focused, all in silver armor and with silver swords, hanging off the backs and shoulders on their own silver chains, seemingly excited and with a whooping war cry, trying to encourage this thing, until eventually it punches its way through, and you see wings unfold as for a second there's a shadow over your part of the courtyard.
Gosh.
And downwards the dragon rockets. You guys have 3 rounds to prepare whatever you want before it gets within range.
The
Yeah.
monarch can't move from her perch, can she?
She can move a little bit in danger, but she will not go far.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Um,
It's more
for the
so.
sake of simplicity here, I'm going to put you guys on the map and have your roll initiative so you can tell me what you're doing to prepare.
That's a nice map.
Note,
I like these
yeah,
maps.
note, thank you. Note that each of these squares on the map is like a 2x2 of the squares you've been moving on.
Be
Oh,
4x4.
Sorry, yes, 4x4, because the monarch is fucking huge, and otherwise this map would be
Man.
super crowded.
Shit. I'm gonna be useless during this.
oh, we are teeny.
Yeah, you guys will be very small here.
Yeah,
The
30
monarch
feet.
is big.
Alright, well, it's a good thing I have this.
Yep, so each of you get your initiative up there as soon as you can. John, that includes you. Make sure you get that up, and you will have 3 rounds to prepare.
1 sec, I'm just trying to grab the...
That's about right.
Yeah. Very fair and very
Where the heck-
appropriate.
Where the heck is the staff? There it is. I'm trying to open it up so that way I have it, because I have, like, no spell slots right now.
Oh, Rosalind.
Yeah. Eat today.
So Rosalind,
Do
what
we
are we
have
doing? We got some fun stuff now.
Yes, yes, we do.
We can't
Real
drag
fast,
my
do we-
picture.
Do we have a John?
I don't know.
John?
John,
John, you're muted. You've been muted.
We may not have a John. I will have to message him.
Ah.
do I take a quick break before then now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing. I was going to do after 3 rounds, but it makes sense to do it now.
All right.
All
My
right, so
thing
yeah,
is
everyone,
loading.
everyone take a break and get their sheets ready and their initiatives on the tracker as quickly as you are able.
Wash real quick.
Go for it.
Oh, damn, Conrad, why'd you have to make it only 30 minutes?
Um, in the short version, I promise you this is actually to your benefit.
How?
The short version, basically time difference. It being 30 minutes is them having less than a week to prepare.
I know. I just. Oh, that's how you do it. You grab your stupid. That's such a weird way to do it. No, it's because I have no fucking spells right now. Shit.
But you're also not fighting alone, don't worry.
I know. I just feel useless.
You'll be okay. What's John's name on this again? Is it Hazard Child?
No idea. Okay. I don't have these spells. Shit. Hey, Conrad, when using a staff, how the hell am I supposed to roll for some of these? Because I don't have some of these on my sheet.
You can always just basically tell me what spell it is. I can look at it myself, and just we can roll whatever numbers are needed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
No, it's more so like I have Fireball. I have. Do I?
You can also always drag on spells to your sheet.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's true. It's just my sheet already has so many fucking things on it. It's gonna.
I'd recommend in another tab. Basically, just be ready to search up spells as you need them, and while you're preparing your turn, just check which ones you want to use.
I have them all already open.
Okay, good.
I just wanted to make sure that we were like okay in terms of how we're gonna do it. That's all.
Real quick, just gonna check again. John, you here?
Uh-oh. Well, that's not good.
His icon on roll 20 is away. No, it's actually not disturbed. Never mind. And John, if you are trying to talk, you are muted. Just so you know.
So, how about that Ophiuchus?
Yep.
For 10 hit points, remember your boosted max HP.
Yes. 18. 18 boost for my notes.
Yep. Let's go. Esther, make sure you get your initiative on there.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I was just opening up these, all these tabs.
Mhm.
I hate spelling.
Also, I'm
Connor,
glad you guys like this map. I spent a lot of time finding it.
I think it's cool.
What's up, Ty?
can I ask a slight inquiry on something?
Sure.
Based on how you made the comment and all that stuff, should I be counting 10 rounds if I'm doing two things that last a minute? Should I be counting the rounds?
Do it just in case. It may not be necessary though.
Okay, yeah, because
I also, I'm gonna be honest, I don't mind being a bit loose on those timings.
I didn't mean to do that.
I know I don't like being loose on this.
Yep. In that case, just count it up because it might get to 10 rounds. I doubt it, but it is possible.
Okay, one of them's only going to be up for 9 rounds if I do action economy.
Makes sense.
Hey, Conrad?
Yes.
For the sake of certain
Oh
things,
shit, what the hell?
certain things having long range, I'm gonna say in those prep rounds, let us know how close the dragon is each round.
Yep, I will be.
Okay.
Sorry, I just got drop kicked out of the roll 20.
Huh.
To kick you out.
Yeah, I'm back in now. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
It's like, what the fuck happened there?
We still seem to be missing a John.
Yes.
Well, shit.
I hope he didn't fall asleep or something.
That would make
That'd be
combat.
impressive.
Yeah, honestly, at this point.
Where's the 18 HP from?
The food you cooked that morning.
The food?
Mhm.
Was
You guys had honey cakes.
it adds temp HP.
Yeah, sorry. The temp HP is the honey cakes. Then you made like a DC 40 or something check for your cooking that morning. So I gave you guys bonus HP.
Yeah, I
Okay,
have
for, like, plus
71
71.
bonus. Yeah, plus 71.
Yep, 71 temp, 18 max.
No, 53 temp, 18 max.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
It's one total.
Yep.
I honestly have no idea what's going on. I only have plus 18 max HP for the day on my notes.
I have plus 18. I wrote I added the plus 18 max in Xenia's health, and then I have 53 temp HP, so I know where the difference is.
Okay.
Yeah, because you guys all rolled honey cakes, and you guys elected to roll it as one, and I guess it was a 53 in that case.
I was just wondering with the HP because I didn't remember if you technically dignified it as a hero's feast or as just the max HP.
I believe you guys didn't make a hero's feast; you just ate, right?
No, I was just wondering if you went oh fuck and did that, but we
Yeah,
did.
no,
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah. All right. I'm really fast. Going to give John a call. See what's up with him. I'll be right back.
Okay. We should have here. Fuck! I should have fucking heroes feasted.
It's okay.
Could have done it the night before and still my fucking spell slot.
I'm glad I at least have this fucking staff. Be screwed without this staff right now. Yeah, this thing is probably going to be resistant to psionic damage.
Psychic, yeah.
Yeah, or psychic, yeah, you're right. But just be, guess, wary of that.
We need Fergus with poison.
I know, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna see me drop real quick. I'm not gone. I'm just gonna give John a call on Discord directly. See what's up.
Okay.
So hopefully it will give him a ping to know that we're trying to contact him.
Oh. There we go, boys.
Alright. For the sake of this, do we want to end the recording and split it into 2 parts, just in case?
Hey,
Yeah.
Esther and Rosalind have identical initiatives.
Hey.
In that case, whoever wants to go first can just mention each round.
Yep.
You can go. It's okay.
Whichever ends up happening. So are we ending recording and picking up later? Is John not available right now?
I'm not sure, but just for the sake of this, we'll just have it in 2 parts. If we continue
Okay.
the session, if not, we will continue next time.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll stop it here.
Well, then.
Till next time.